Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot in Wonderland by Barbara Moore, illustrated by Eugene Smith. Website at the bottom is llewellyn.com. Feel free to freeze frame on that if you need the spelling or anything like that, of course. Supportive Oracle cards, The Elemental Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Artwork by Kinga Brishti. I know I'm butchering that. I'm really bad with names. But there's the spelling. That way if you want to find them or find more of their artwork, there it is. Brishti? I know I'm saying it wrong. There's a website. It's rockpoolpublishing.com or rockpoolpublishing.co.uk is what I've seen on other boxes. But this says rockpoolpublishing.co. So I guess if that works, it works. You know what I mean? Okay. Whew. What do we have for Cancer? What is that about? I had two cards. They're face down. Why are we? Like, are there secrets going on here? Or do we have secrets? Do we have people holding secrets? What's going on? Somebody's holding secrets. All right, now I'm seeing it. The Hermit here, I don't usually think of it as a secretive card, but I feel like somebody's holding something back. And they're trying to make sense of it. So, like, it's kind of a secret, but I feel like maybe they know stuff or think they know stuff, and they're like, I don't want to make a bigger problem out of something if it doesn't need to be. They're just keeping certain things to themselves. I feel like they might have the viewpoint of where they just are trying to not be involved with it. It's a secret, though. It feels like a secret to me, but I feel like the person who's holding the secret might have a different opinion about that. Kind of like, no, I just don't want to get involved, or, you know, I'm not really sure what to think about it, and I don't want to be starting rumors, so I'm just, like, keeping it to myself because I'm not really sure what's happening here. They may have more of that opinion towards it, which I feel like is valid, but there's something from the past that I feel like they know that you don't. I have two face-down cards. One is the Emperor, and the other one is Ice. Somebody's... See, this is what you don't know. Somebody is staying out of the situation that's directly involved. That doesn't make sense. Like, they're not in the forefront. Somebody's directly involved in a situation. It's almost like, you know, if you see a couple... Like, if you know a couple and they're arguing, and it looks like they're arguing about finances, there might be a third party involved with that, and you don't realize what actually happened. Like, a third party might have caused an issue. It's a question about what that issue actually is, and that person is... like, not in the forefront. Because it's almost like maybe there's a couple having an issue. Maybe it is about infidelity with somebody. But they're like, we don't want people knowing that. So people know that they're arguing, but they don't want people knowing exactly what they're arguing about, because neither the person who's doing the infidelity or the person who is on the other end of it, like, they're not, like, they're getting cheated on, basically. They don't really want that information out that either. They're like, that's not everybody's business, so they don't want that spread all over the town. So they're not telling people what the actual fight was about, but there was an argument. There was some discord there. The person who actually the problem is about, or the third party, is not in the forefront. People don't even realize that that person's a part of this. It could be something like that. Doesn't have to be that example. Could be, like, for example, if it's a work situation, there's another person pulling the strings, or another person who caused an issue who is not being seen. Somebody's not being seen that's a part of an issue. That's what I'm getting. But this other person knows about it. They just don't want to start anything with it. They don't want to be connected with it. They don't want to, like, it's almost like, well, that's their business, that's their issues. I don't feel like it's right for me to be, you know, saying what I'm seeing, or saying what I know, or saying what I think I know, because I saw this and I saw that, but I don't want to be jumping to conclusions and causing issues. So somebody's trying to stay out of it. They really want to stay out of it. Is it going to stay that way is a good question. Because I feel like you're trying to figure out, like, what's the real problem there. Because I feel like, again, if you're seeing this issue from the outside, whether it's between two people or it's something going on at work, you can see that something's not right. And you're kind of like, I thought that was about finances, or I thought that was about this. Shouldn't we be over that by now? Shouldn't we be letting that go by now? But if you don't realize what the actual problem is, that's why you might be feeling that way. Like, if there's a couple having an argument, one of them there's infidelity there, that may be something that's really hard to get over and take a long time. But if you think it's just like somebody spent too much money, and maybe they spent a couple hundred and they didn't really have the money to do that, or that money was supposed to go to something else. Like, it's been a month or two. Can't we let that go? Like, it's only a couple $100. It's like, if you're not realizing what the actual issue is, I feel like you might have a different perspective. That's the point. And you're trying to figure it out, but I feel like you're starting to get to the point where you're like, the way this is going at this point, that doesn't make sense. If it was just a couple $100, I understand why they were mad then, but they both seem like they're still really on edge about it. So it's kind of like, what exactly happened there? The question is, do you really want to know? Do you really want to know? Because it's kind of like, it's not quite showing itself yet, but you're starting to figure it out. The Eight of Pentacles is like work is being done. 8 is a progressive number. 9 is the finish. The way I read, just to be fair, because I know people do that differently. Some people see 10 as the end. I see 9 as the end, just to be fair. So like 8 is not quite there, but you almost got it together. And maybe you've been putting a little effort into figuring out what's going on here, and you're almost at the point where you're figuring it out. The question is it going to help you to figure it out? Somebody's mad. We're still dealing with this. Yeah, I think we already dealt with this. Somebody's holding back the information. I feel like that with the bunny here with the pentacle, which is the page. Yep. The bunny with the pentacle makes me feel like somebody's holding back what they know. Other people, they're balancing it out. They're being very diplomatic. It's very obvious that they're not happy, but it's not obvious about exactly what they're unhappy about. I feel like you're figuring it out. Like, what they're saying it's about, when it's actually about, looks like it's two different things, because the way this keeps going, I just feel like after a month and a half, 2 months, we'd be over like somebody spending $200 to $300 when they shouldn't have, and we're still not happy. Like something else is going on here. The question is, again, do you want to know more? Do you really want to? Are you going to let it go? I feel like it's more of a question like you sitting in this situation going, if I ignore it, is it just going to pop up later and be worse? Like, should I figure it out so I can be ready for whatever might happen next? Or if I just stay out of it and just leave it alone, will they solve it themselves, and is that a better outcome? Because it's kind of like, I don't want to be blindsided later. And if I just play like I don't know anything, is that setting this up for a worse outcome? Or again, if I just leave it alone, does that actually set it up for a better outcome? I'm not really sure. I feel like whatever this is, it's really weighing on you. Like, we're not really getting answers, or are we? I feel like this is current energy, though, but we're not really getting answers. Pentacles. 2 of Pentacles. This is not your decision to make. 2 of Pentacles reversed is telling me this is not your decision to make, but if you do get involved, it's going to have long-term effects. The Temperance card is telling me keep moving of the situation, maybe keep in contact with these people, but this is not a situation for you to make a decision in, is what they're saying. Because I feel like this situation seems to go better going forward. It does seem to go better. I see the 10 of Cups coming in. Whoever's not getting along, they seem to iron it out. They make their peace with it however they need to make their peace with it. I also see, like, they're very, it's kind of like things feel like they used to, things feel like they should. I feel like things are comfortable again for you. All right, what's going on behind the scenes here? We got, like, a couple cards. Air, magnetism, and the sun. And we got pressure. Sometimes people just don't want their business out there. They just don't want other people knowing what happened. Even if, like, I know I keep using the infidelity thing, but I feel like that's a good example. If there's 2 people in a relationship and one person cheated and the other person got cheated on, if they decide they're going to stay together, I feel like it's the person who was cheated on is kind of like, I don't want people looking at me like there's something wrong with me for not doing what they think I should do. This is my relationship. I want control of this relationship, and I've made a decision based on what I want. I don't want other people judging my actions or how I handle this because they wouldn't handle it this way. So it's kind of like, that's why they're not saying anything. And I feel like the pressure is like, they don't want other people thinking they have the ability or the right to judge what they're doing and how they're handling something. They've made their decision. They know what they're going to do, and that's the way they want to handle it. That's why they're keeping it private. I feel like that's the pressure part. It's very clouded, but I feel like people are figuring things out going forward. There is some chatter around this. Magnetism, the sun there. You have the ability, especially I keep seeing that sun card, you have the ability to, like, shut this down. Whoever this person is, they don't want other people talking about them. One of them, I feel like there's somebody here who's kind of like more of like, they had bad, they were done dirty, basically. Somebody was done dirty. Let's just do it that way. They don't want people talking about them. It's like bad enough they got done dirty. And then have people talking about them behind their back be on top of it. That's not right. Like, they have the right to make their own decision. Like, just, and you may not agree with what they're doing, but that's not the point. The point is they still don't deserve to have people talking about them behind their back. You do, going forward, have the ability to shut that down. Because I don't really see... I feel like you're going to hear the conversations. In some form, you're going to hear the conversations, and you have the ability to shut it down. I feel like you have the ability to shut it down. The question is, will you? It's up to you. I feel like the person this is about means something to you, and I feel like it's just keeping them empowered is what's important. The person who was done dirty. If you're able to do that, I do feel like it makes a big difference. I also feel like it pulls the pressure off of whoever was done dirty. Whoever was done dirty, it does pull the pressure off of them, and I do feel like you're sitting very well. You're probably going to figure out through other people talking what actually happened. The question is, are you willing to shut it down so other people stop talking about it and kind of like, you don't know that that's what happened, even though you're going to know, even though you're going to think to yourself, yeah, I think I do know that's what happened. But it's kind of like shutting other people down, kind of like, it looks like that what's happened, but that's not our business, let's shut it down, let's leave it alone, or kind of also maybe saying, you don't know that that's exactly what happened, that's a rumor, let's shut it down, that's not nice, don't say that about that person, leave them alone, it's not nice, you know. Because I see you kind of like, I do see you figuring it out. You might even find the proof. I don't know what that means. So whatever the situation is, it doesn't have to be a couple situation with infidelity. It could be a business situation where you're figuring out what happened behind. I feel like you're discovering who this person is. You're finding out who that is. I don't know if you're actually trying to figure out who it is, but I feel like the information is coming to you, and I feel like you're finding out, no, that did definitely happen. And I also see you kind of keeping it to yourself. Down the way, some way, one way or another, you're finding out the truth, but I also feel you sitting on that truth, kind of like, what happened is bad enough. We don't need everybody's 2 cents about it. I'm just going to keep it to myself. Cancer can keep a secret, in my opinion. Especially when you feel like it's going to hurt people if that secret gets out. Cancer can keep a secret. So, if you decide you need to, anyway. Did we get there? Like, the energy just kind of slumped down real quick. So I think we hit the point. Because at the end, I see you shutting it. You have the ability to shut it down. It's hopeful that you do. But at the end, I do see you figuring it out. But even if you don't shut it down here, over here, I see you like keeping it to yourself what was really going on anyway. So for the reasons you find necessary. I think we're done. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.